Hi, this is Dee, and welcome back to the Caregiver Crown once again. Today we will discuss a very important topic. Caregiver burnout, which is defined as the complete physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion resulting from caring for a loved one with an illness or condition. The statistics surrounding caregiver burnout are alarming. Studies suggest that between 40% and 70% of caregivers experience symptoms of burnout at some point during their caregiving journey. In this video, we will identify some of the symptoms of caregiver burnout and explore how we as caregivers can make our own self-care a priority. Many of us do not intentionally neglect our well-being, but we somehow find ourselves putting what we need on the back burner because we are caring for others. The nights seem too short, and Lord knows the days are long and strenuous for us. Those of us who are full-time caregivers go through caregiver burnout on a daily basis. We are providing care and are handling other personal and/or professional responsibilities. Me personally, I can truly say that I experience burnout every day. I have so many things to do for my daughter on a daily basis that I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Being a caregiver is a labor of love, and we make great sacrifices to ensure that our loved ones are cared for and have what they need. Therefore, we cannot solely focus on what we need or what we as caregivers may be lacking. Part-time caregivers can also experience caregiver burnout, especially if we have jobs, schooling, other children, or other obligations. We know physically, mentally, and emotionally what this type of burnout feels like. Some of us can carry the financial weight or responsibility of being a caregiver as well. The physical toll can be heavy and very taxing on us. We can suffer from headaches or other health issues, lack of sleep or rest, feeling depressed and sad, poor eating habits or loss of appetite, just to name a few. Emotionally, we can go through a range of emotions as caregivers. Many of us lack any kind of social life and enjoyment in our lives. Every now and again, we may be able to let our hair down and do something fun. When those opportunities come for us to take some time for ourselves, we are exhausted, and when we do take some time for ourselves, we often feel guilty that we are taking the time that we so desperately need. In addition to the physical and emotional toll, the mental toll is also a huge issue that we cannot overlook. Sometimes we may not want to admit that we are not coping very well, and we continue on with life as if things are normal. We feel ashamed to talk about what we are going through, so we stay silent and suffer quietly. We have to be honest with ourselves about what we are feeling and experiencing. So, right now, we will talk about how we can combat caregiver burnout in healthy ways and begin to move our needs to the top of the list. Keep in mind that these suggestions may not be applicable in every situation, but I hope that all who watch this video can find some of the information helpful. We will use the letters in the words self-care to give some examples of how we can take better care of ourselves. Each letter will have 2 words associated with it that can help us to zero in on how we can think about ourselves for a change. The letter S is for schedule and smell the roses. As caregivers, we need to schedule the time that we need to take care of ourselves. I believe if we can put things on a calendar and make an appointment with ourselves, we will intentionally follow through on taking the time that we need. Schedule a massage or spa day, schedule dinner and a movie, schedule a visit to your favorite store or outlet, schedule a bike ride or walk, or get dressed up and go to the theater or a concert. Whatever brings you joy and can take you away from caregiving for a day or for a few hours, just do it. Next, stop and smell the roses. We are always going, providing, and taking care of others. that we do not stop and smell all of the beautiful roses there are in the world. I know it may be a challenge to slow down if you have other children or family who look to you for care, but slowing down will allow us to see things that we may have missed or never paid attention to before. Sometimes we may miss milestones and special moments because we are in the fast lane of life every day. Caregivers, slow down and smell and pick some beautiful roses too. The letter E is for exercise and energize. Make it a point to get in some type of exercise, such as a walk, spending some time at the gym, or exercising outdoors to enjoy the fresh air while getting your heart rate up. Choose different places to walk that offer beautiful scenery and lush greenery to lift your spirits. Breathing in the fresh air is good for our souls. Secondly, we as caregivers need to be energized from time to time. We need to ask ourselves, what can we do to be energized? Is it taking a swim? Is it trying something new for a change? Is it going to a place that we have never been before? Is it doing something fun and totally spontaneous? Whatever gets us energized is what we can pursue to help us focus on our self-care. Caregivers, take the time you need for you. The letter L is for love on yourself and laugh often. As mentioned earlier, love on yourself and put it on your calendar and make it happen. Do whatever you want that will make you feel loved and appreciated. Focus on what will make you happy and bring you a sense of joy. It could be reading a good book or having your favorite meal prepared. It could be buying yourself a new pair of shoes. It could be scheduling an experience that you will remember for the rest of your life. It could be whatever you want and need to get back to your caregiving duties with a new, fresh perspective and being renewed and rejuvenated. Laugh often. It is medicine for the soul. Laughter makes you feel better even if it is only temporary. We have to balance the highs with the low points. Laughter can help us to achieve this balance. Watch a funny movie or TV show or comedy show. Laughter is healing and can lighten the load just a bit. The letter F is for faith and fellowship. Sometimes our faith is weakened or not as strong as it once was because we are so engrossed with day-to-day tasks that we may feel like God is silent and has abandoned us. God is there just as He always is. James chapter 1 verse 3 reads, "Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Depending on our faith in God will help us as caregivers to persevere and to stop and take the time we need to put ourselves first. God has a lot to say about faith in the Bible. If we are refreshed, we can do our best to continue to take care of our loved ones. Keep the faith, caregivers. Fellowship is important because many of us caregivers feel alone and isolated. Finding a local support group may help us to talk through what we may be feeling and will give us a sense of community. If we can include others in helping us to practice self-care, it may be more fun and enjoyable for us. If you share like interests with a few friends or family members, you can turn it into a group event. Some of your friends and family may also need to practice self-care, so it will be a great way to practice it together. The letter C is for contentment and courage. Being content is also important because sometimes we get caught up in what others are doing, that we become discontented with how things are going for us. We may begin to compare ourselves to others or focus heavily on what we feel we are lacking. God is in the minor and major details of our lives. We are where we are for a reason at this moment in time, and God knows why we're chosen to be caregivers. He knows the heavy crowns that we are wearing. He sees and knows our struggles. If we continue to trust Him, He will get us to where we need to be at the right time. Philippians chapter 4 verse 11 reads, "For I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances." Discontentment can cause anxiety and stress, which is counterproductive to our self-care. Be content, caregiver. God is in control. Courage is something that can test us sometimes because the opposite of courage is fear. Caregivers sometimes might not have the courage to ask for help when help is desperately needed. We may not want to burden others with this caregiver life, but sometimes courage is what is needed so that we can focus on our own health and well-being. If others do not know what we need, they cannot provide help or assistance. Be strong and courageous, caregivers, and repeat after me. Today, if I lack the courage to ask for help, I will take a leap of faith and ask those who may be willing and able to help for assistance. I will make my request clear and let others know exactly how they can help. The letter A is for affirmations and alignment. We should affirm ourselves every day so that we can be reminded that we are loved and appreciated. God never wants us to forget how special we are in His eyes. Creating our own affirmations or memorizing affirmations that uplift and inspire us help us to stay positive and see hope for the future. Why not start each day with a few affirmations that will help to get your day started on a positive note? Write them down or print them on a card and place them around your home. They will serve as a reminder when you feel a little down, and they can make great pick-me-ups. Repeat after me. My day will be productive and bright, and I will be grateful for all of my blessings, large and small. I will wear a smile and anticipate the great things that God will reveal to me today. Caregivers, let us get and stay in vertical alignment with God through prayer and reading and meditating on His Word. He can grant us the grace and strength to continue to do all that we do. God has a way of sending and using others to get us what we need at the precise time. Sometimes there may be obstacles in the way of us taking time for ourselves, but God is able to direct and show us how we can achieve our self-care goals. He can open the door wide for us caregivers. Pray and let Him know what you need today. The letter R is for rest and respite. Rest is crucial for caregivers because many of us do not get enough sleep or time to rest. We go and push through the day, and before we know it, the sun has risen and a new day has started. I will reiterate what I said earlier. Some things have to be scheduled. Why not schedule the rest you so desperately need? It may require you having to take a rest away from home in a quiet or serene place. You can pamper yourself a little. Listen to some peaceful and calming music, or just sit quietly and have some meditation time. Think about how you will feel after you have rested. Leave some of the undone tasks and take care of you. We as caregivers should not shy away from taking advantage of some respite time. Perhaps a weekend or an overnight stay can do wonders for our tired bodies and minds. A few hours may be sufficient for some caregivers, but the goal is to take some time to put what you need first. If possible, see if you can arrange for someone that you trust to care for your loved one so you can have some respite time. This would be the ideal time to plan ahead and schedule the time you need to focus on your own self-care. It may push us to be consistent in our pursuit of self-care and briefly take us away from the place that I refer to as Caregiver Island. Repeat after me. I will schedule some respite time and take the time that I need. I will have the courage to ask someone I trust to care for my loved one so that I can seize opportunities for enjoyment or rest. The letter E is for eager and empower. Let us be eager to commit to our self-care and well-being. We owe it to ourselves and the ones that we care for to pursue what is best for our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Think about one thing or issue that you're most enthusiastic about and pursue that same level of eagerness and enthusiasm and get serious about taking good care of yourself. Repeat after me, caregivers. I will seek and pursue my own self-care with the same enthusiasm that I give to the things or causes that I am passionate about. Lastly, let us be empowered to devise a caregiver burnout strategy that works for us. The goal is for us to consider our own needs, our own well-being, and our own enjoyment. There is nothing wrong with desiring some fun and enjoyment in our lives. There is nothing selfish about doing what we need to do to fulfill some of our own dreams. We deserve it. We should not feel guilty, but instead embrace the things that can make this caregiver life less stressful and will help us to cope. Hopefully, after watching this video, we will all strive to make a promise to ourselves that we will take the time to make self-care a priority. Self-care is a very necessary part of the caregiver journey. Please make a note of this summary of all of the letters in self-care that we have talked about and begin today to put them into practice. You will be glad that you did. Please like and share this video with others who may benefit from this content. Now let us share a brief prayer. Heavenly Father, please bless each and every caregiver around the world in a very special way. Grant unto us open doors and opportunities to practice self-care. Help us to focus on our well-being and what we may need as caregivers. Give us the courage to ask for help when help is needed. I pray that the content shared in this video will be a blessing to all who stop by this channel. Amen. Take care, and remember that heavy is the crown that we caregivers wear, but God added some extra jewels in our crowns so we would know that He chose us for such a time as this. Thanks for tuning in, and God bless.